So tonight's movie was one that all of my friends on the coast already saw, but it didn't open on Christmas here in Atlanta, so I didn't get to see it before the new year. And that is Paul Thomas Anderson's newest film, Phantom Thread. Now, I was not sure if I was going to like it from the trailer, but I've absolutely adored every single one of his movies, so I should have known that I should not trust a trailer, and I should just never even watch a trailer, because I don't even know how they were trying to sell this movie, but what I thought the movie was going to be about from the trailer is, like, not what the movie was about from the movie. So, trailers, deceptive. Let's see. There's gonna be a handful of spoilers, so sorry. Um, the plot is set. The film is set in 1950s London, with a couturier, um, named Woodcock, and I think that name is on purpose. This is Daniel Day-Lewis, obviously, with a beautiful, beautiful shock of silver hair. He lives with his sister, played by Lesley Manville. The two of them run the House of Woodcock, his fancy fashion house, and you learn bits about them. They're a very strange, close brother and sister. They are literally haunted by their memory of their mother. This comes up throughout the film. She helps him, like, get rid of women, not in the murder sense, but in the, like, hey, your time's up sense. And this all changes when he meets a new woman after having done a huge new dress. Like, every time he does a new dress or a new huge line, he gets completely exhausted and has to rebuild himself in the country. And while out in the country, he meets a woman named Alma. She is not from England. She is an immigrant. She is played by Vicky Krieps. She is the best character in this movie, and my favorite performance. She was so good. She challenges him from the get-go and throws his entire life for a wrench, sometimes for the better, sometimes for the worse, always entertainingly, and is probably going to make him a better person in the end. My only complaint really about the entire film is I wish I knew more about Alma's life prior to her coming to England, but they did such a good job of having her actions sort of let you know what kind of woman she is that I almost forgot that I didn't know enough about her past, because she was so interesting to watch, and she just kept breaking down his little, shticks. And so, okay, so some of the spoilers that I was saying, I'm spoiling now. One, from the trailer, it makes it sort of seem like the Lesley Manville character, the sister, is really a disrupting character in their relationship, and that is not the case. She's just used to things and used to her brother, and has put up with his bullshit, because she enjoys the life that she has. And at first, she's not quite sure about Alma, but then they get on the same wavelength, and they understand each other, and they they get each other. Second spoiler: if anyone saw The Beguiled, you will know that 2017 was quite a year for poisonous mushrooms. Different outcomes in the two movies, but poisonous mushrooms really had a moment, and I hope I never encounter any poisonous mushrooms in my life or romantic relationships. I'll tell you that much. The other thing that I thought was interesting about this film that you don't quite get from the trailer, but you also sort of didn't get from the Beguiled's trailer either, is that it's a comedy. Both films were comedies. They're dark, weird, mordant comedies, but they are comedies. They're not like what we think of as comedy in America is not the only kind of comedy there is. And both of these films are very almost European comedies. Comedy of manner, comedy of I don't even know the word I'm looking for. Relationships. The little things that end up they're awful, but they're hilarious. They're awful because you know it's awful, and hilarious to watch when it doesn't happen to you, which was throughout this film. There were moments where I was like, oh my god, but also this is so funny. And what I really liked about the movie was that, other than Alma, who I loved the whole time, both the Daniel Day-Lewis character and the Lesley Manville character, there were times where I really hated the characters because, like, Reynolds Woodcock is such a misogynist half the time, and Lesley Manville's character Cyril, she can be a bit of a bitch sometimes, but then they would do something that would make me love them, and suddenly you realize, like most people, they're multifaceted, and sometimes you hate them and sometimes you love them, and I think that is so brilliant. That brilliant of Anderson to write characters with such depth and so many sides, and brilliant for the actors to bring them truly alive to the point where sometimes you're with them and you're like, I hate this person, and sometimes you're with them and you're like, this is my favorite person, and that's so true to any relationship. I just thought that was fantastic. And then the rest of the cast is just a whole bunch of people that you've never heard of, but they all look like they fell out of like Life magazine or Vogue from 1950s. It's fantastic. Now what you all are waiting for, what about the costumes? They're gorgeous. So gorgeous. The costume designer was, wow, it's not listed on here. How dare they? Okay, hold on. I have to click. They're beautiful. I don't know if you know this about me, but I actually spent 3 semesters in a fashion design grad school because once upon a time I wanted to tailor men's pants. That was my life. That did not happen. So I always appreciate good fashion films, and this was a good fashion film. Let's see here. Oh, I can do Control F. Costumes. Costumes were by Mark Bridges, who also did. He won an Oscar for something. He did Inherent Vice and The Master and all the other PTA movies. There Will Be Blood, I Heart Huckabees, Punch Drunk Love, all kinds of movies. What did he win an Oscar for? Let's see. So There Will Be Blood? I don't know. Going on this journey with me. Boogie Nights. Oh, he won the costume design for The Artist. Interesting. Okay, well, they're beautiful, and they clearly studied 1950s style fashion, and there's moments where you see Daniel Day-Lewis's character sort of sketching, and those sketches look like sketches from designers from the era. Just all around well-made film, a well-established world, and one full of characters that felt so real and so fleshed out and just so dynamic. I really enjoyed it. Great score by Johnny Greenwood. Again, he's worked with Paul Thomas Anderson many times. I'm like changing all the light on you guys. Oh God. I'm trying to go back to the Wikipedia page. There we go. I don't know if there's anything else I wanted to say other than I just thought it was fantastic. I really loved it. I wasn't expecting. I don't know what I was expecting. I think that's the thing I love about Paul Thomas Anderson is I never know what to expect. I just go with the ride, and you have to just be on his wavelength, I think. Let's see. There was one other thing I wanted to mention. What was it? I don't remember. Daniel Day-Lewis, costumes, hating him, loving him. Vicky Krieps, bring her up again. She was so good. What the fuck was it? Oh, I guess, so people are sort of interpreting it as both a look at what it's like to live with an artist, and also, I don't know about people because I'm putting this is what I'm thinking, like, another one of those sort of looks at what the like internal strife of being in a relationship and the give and take, and what happens when one gives and one doesn't, and when only one gives and the other one doesn't take, or when only one takes and the other one never gives back, and how the importance of having that balance. And that definitely gets established as this relationship blossoms. But it also sort of shows how 2 terrible people can be terrible together and then be wonderful and then be terrible again. I'm not really sure. And I haven't decided if Alma is a great person or just a total trash person, and that Reynolds is also a trash person, and they can all just be trash people together. I'm not really sure. Maybe they're great. Maybe they're terrible. I don't know. All I know is I enjoyed spending 2 hours with them, and I look forward to more movies from Paul Thomas Anderson. He has yet to disappoint me. This is Phantom Thread. It is, I think, wide right now. You can check it out everywhere. It is fantastic. Highly recommended.